What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another COD mode video. So today we're going to be talking about the Season 6 test server patch notes. So this is all the changes that are going to be making their way into Season 6. Of course, this is on the test server. There might be more changes later on down the line, but some of these are actually very interesting changes. So let's get into it real quick. So surprisingly, this time around, there isn't really a lot of different weapon changes and not even BR changes that as well. So yeah, you're not going to see like a whole 20-minute video. This is going to be a little more quicker than usual. So really quickly, when I started recording this video, I actually forgot to look at the stats for all the multiplier changes for Season 6. But I'm happy to tell you guys that I already figured it all out. So yeah, let's actually get to the changes for real this time. So the first change that we are going to be discussing, of course, is the Dingo. So the only change that the Dingo got is that they improved the range profile from 1623 to 18 to 26. So basically 2 meters on the first range and basically just 3 meters on the second. So that might not sound like a lot, but it is kind of like a lot. And plus, you know, with all the extra barrels that you can increase the range with, it's going to make four-shotting a lot easier. So now we move on to a pretty significant change. Well, something that actually surprised me. I think that they weren't ever going to do. So the HVK, the large caliber ammo, got its ammo mag capacity increased. So instead of it being 29 rounds, it's now 32 rounds. So that's pretty crazy. It's more than the base mag itself. And they also decreased the empty reload time. Apparently that was like some sort of issue or something, but yeah, I never noticed it. And that's probably because I haven't used it in quite a while. So for the R9, they increased the pellet spread density. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's talking about hip fire or ADS bullet spread. Maybe it's going to hit a little more accurately. So yeah, I mean, if it's green, it's probably a buff. So that's basically what it means, I think. So an interesting change for the AGR 556. So the 556 munitions, the one that has like the 30 and the 60 round mag, did get a fire interval penalty decrease from 10% to 8%. So it's going to be 8% slower. Sorry. Well, yeah, I think, yeah, 8% slower instead of 10%. So it's going to shoot a little bit faster while you're using this, but maybe not to a noticeable amount. But I'm still going to try it anyways because, I mean, you know, given the recent buff with the AGR back in the day, I mean, it started to become a little bit irrelevant because you could just use the 40 round mag. But, you know, seeing this might actually make me want to use the 556 rounds a little more. So now we move on to the LCAR-9, which is actually a pistol that I've noticed a lot of people using. And my friend Parker could attest to that because, yeah, like every now and then when we do play, we see a lot of people actually using this for some reason. Maybe they're just trying to get a gold, but I don't really think that there are any recent changes to it to make anyone want to use it. So yeah, it's actually pretty interesting. So the LCAR-9 got some improved range profiles from 8 to 14 meters to 9 to 16. So that's a pretty noticeable amount. And I've always complained about the LCAR range being a little bit too short. So having like any sort of range change is a plus for me at least. They also decreased the horizontal recoil, which is something that the LCAR also had since it came out. I'm sure you guys have already noticed that. Like when you do shoot, eventually it's going to start turning to the right and just stay like that. I always thought that was kind of weird, but it's nice that they're finally changing that. So now we move on to another unexpected change. The Odin improved the range profile from 1625 meters to 18 to 28 meters. So basically 2 on the first and 3 on the second. So this might actually help you two-shot a little bit better at longer ranges. Even though, you know, I would say that the two-shot area is still a little strict, but, you know, having a range like this, I mean, it might help in some rare instances. I know I'm talking about mainly multiplayer, but I have used the Odin in BR when I'm doing tournament mode, so this might actually be a much better, well, I guess a much bigger change in Battle Royale rather than in multiplayer. So now moving on to the Peacekeeper, they improved the lower arm damage multiplier from 1 times to 1.15 times. Keep in mind, most of the, I guess, the lower body multipliers, like, you know, the stomach, the chest, are already at 1.15, but I guess the lower arm was the only one that was untouched. So this might make the weapon a lot more consistent with its 4 shots in probably the second range. But in the first range, it doesn't really matter since the default damage is already at 26. So yes, this might help in further ranges. So now we go on to the PDW-57. So they improved the chest and arm multiplier from 1 times to 1.15 times. Again, this one doesn't really make too much of a difference either. I already checked this one out. I've even checked the third range to see if there's any slight difference. But no, it's like, yes, the damage might be higher, but it's still really not enough to make that much of a noticeable difference. So yeah, this is probably one of the more minimal changes. So now we move on to probably the biggest change of the entire season, which is going to be the Razorback. So they improved the damage profile from 30, 24, 20 to 33, 30, 24, and 20. So basically this means that we have a new first range for the first 9 meters of this gun, which is going to actually be able to help you 3-shot since the multipliers are a little bit bigger when it comes to like the chest and the arms. So long as you hit around those areas and even the head, you're gonna score a 3-shot kill up to 9 meters or 14.5 if you do stack up the range to the max. So now we move on to a very questionable change, especially for the sniper section, which is the Koshka. So they decreased the ADS time from 470 milliseconds to 455 milliseconds. So basically 15 milliseconds, but even that is a lot, especially for the Koshka that's already a fast aiming sniper rifle. So for 2 reasons, I have a problem with this. First, I mean, it's basically on par with the DLQ. They're basically making it into like a faster type of DLQ. And the second issue is that given that it's starting to become even faster now, it's kind of making the Outlaw a lot more obsolete. Mainly because the Koshka's one-shot area is a lot bigger than the Outlaw's. I mean, yes, you could shoot in the stomach, but like only at like maybe 10 meters with the Outlaw. But with the Koshka, you're able to shoot in the stomach and just get away with it, or at least get away with a one-shot from pretty far ranges anyway. So yes, having this, it might actually be on par, almost be on par with the Outlaw's ADS speed. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy that they're giving Koshka some love, but I think they might be giving it a little bit too much love. So now we got an update to the Tempest, which is one of the operator skills for multiplayer that I'm sure like no one really uses that often. They improved the damage and they also improved the radius. So by the radius, I mean I think they're talking about maybe when you hit the person, or maybe when it changed to another person. So I'm not really sure how that's going to affect him. Maybe it might kill the second person immediately. They weren't really specific on how much damage it gives like to a person that might connect with another. So yeah, this one's going to be something that we're probably going to have to like test. So now moving on to the Shadow Blade. So they improved the movement speed. So basically you're going to be running and sliding and all that stuff a little bit faster with it. Honestly, I think this is probably a good idea. I mean, you know, you do get killed off pretty easily, especially like in bigger maps with the Shadow Blade. So, you know, maybe, I don't know if this stacks up with lightweight. So yes, if you probably use that, it might be a lot better. So let's just see how this one turns out. I don't think it's going to be too overpowered, but at the same time, it might be a little problematic. But again, I could be wrong. So a change that I don't really understand, mainly because I don't use the Scorestreak. Hawk X3 got decreased duration from 32 to 24 seconds. So I'm not really sure the Hawk was that powerful. Like maybe it was, but again, I mean, most lobbies I get into, no one's ever really using that Scorestreak. So yeah, I don't really understand the reason to nerf it like that, but I guess. So we have yet again another change to the bullet charge. They decreased the duration from 25 seconds to 20 seconds. So yeah, it's basically, they're basically making it clear that they don't want anyone to be using this anymore. Might as well just delete it at this point. Yeah, I could only just imagine like the next few months we're probably gonna get more changes to this type of score streak. But I mean, they could make like other like different changes. I mean, you could have the duration stay the same and just maybe slow down the turn time, because like if you played Infinite Warfare with this bull charge operator skill, like it was really hard to turn like from left to right. I mean, they could try to mimic that, but I don't know if that's like a good idea. But either way, I mean, I guess like I don't know, maybe I think they're going a little too far. Let me know in the comment section. I'm sure a lot of people are still probably using this in ranked, so yeah, just let me know how your experience is with the bull charge so far right now. So another change to a flash drone, effective range increased from 12 meters to 14 meters. So does anyone really use the flash drone that often? I'm not even sure, but let me know if you guys ever really use it. And let me know what it's for, because like I swear to God, that thing doesn't do anything. Like I've never seen anyone use it ever. So what it looks like for the gas grenade, I was about to say gas grenade, but yes, for the gas grenade, they increased the slowing effect, and they also they increased the range effect from like 6 meters to 7 meters, while at the same time decreasing the duration time from 7 seconds to 6 seconds. So they're kind of like making this into, I guess, what the thermite used to be when it used to slow you down like crazy. But, you know, I guess it's okay, maybe. I'm not really that sure. Again, I don't really see a lot of people use this, not even in ranked, so yeah. So we got improvement to the storm ball. Didn't even know what that was until I figured out it might be from like It might be from BR. So they improved the effect area from 5 meters to 7 meters. I guess. Okay, cool. So now we move on to another C4 nerf, which they basically increased the detonation delay. So if you're going to try to throw it midair, it's probably not going to work as well as before, and it might give the enemy some time for them to get away before you explode it. So it really depends on how much they actually increase the detonation delay, which I'm sure Leaguers on Duty will probably figure that out when the update comes out anyways. So now we move on to the final BR changes. Let's actually talk about the HS0405. So they reduced the range on the first and, well, actually on all the ranges. On the first one, they reduced it by 1, and I think they did it by like 2.5 on the second, and just 1 on the final range. So yes, I know a lot of people were actually frustrated with this weapon, and yeah, I've fallen victim to it a few times, playing in Alcatraz. And by the way, for all of you guys questioning why I call it Alcatraz, I just do that for fun. I actually kind of like Alcatraz. So yeah, anyways, we move on to the rewind class. The recharge time increased from 45 seconds to 55 seconds. So yeah, it's going to take you a bit more time for that thing to load. I'm not really sure how it works, once you upgrade it. Maybe it's going to be like around the same time as well. So just, another 10 seconds. So for the Shockwave class, the radius decreased from 15 meters to 12.5 meters. And for the Tempest, they significantly increased the charge up speed, and center radius damage increased to 200. So I think that's a good thing. 200, especially for BR, might be a lot of damage. And again, if you manage to connect it with other people, it's going to pack a mean punch. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like. Those are all the changes. I think they're pretty cool. The Razorback and the Koshka are probably the 2 major changes so far for multiplayer. So we're going to have to see how that's going to turn out. But yeah, anyways, have a wonderful day, guys.